All right, Panther fans. All right, we back. Um, let me let some folks get up in here. Let some folks get back up in here. I know y'all like Pat. I thought you was gone. I thought you was gone. I thought I was too, but then I had a special guest. You know what I'm saying? One of my boys, good friend, good friend, hit me up and said he got some stuff he want to say. He want to give to the fans. Um, my man's Chris Jenkins with Charlotte Vibe. He got some. We got somebody we can ask some questions to. I just sent him the link. Chris, I just sent you the link. I texted it to you. He should be joining us here in a second, man. But I want some folks to get back up in here. Yeah, we back. Um, because Chris Jenkins from the Charlotte Vibe is gonna give us, a little bit of insight. So y'all get them questions ready. I got some questions for him soon as he pop in. I got some questions for him. If y'all got some questions for him, and he on field too. So let's see what he got to say. Y'all give me 1 second. Let me get it. Let me get this and let me make this him. Boom. Hey Chris, what's going on with your brother?
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Hey, can y'all hear Chris? Can y'all hear Chris? Hopefully, let me
Pat,
make sure folks can hear you. Let me make sure folks can hear you. We got some on-field exclusive. Exclusive. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Let the folks know one of the best beat reporters for the Carolina Panthers is about to answer all y'all questions. Even though he don't give you gas money to do interviews, he's still a good reporter. You know what I'm saying? All right, hold on, let me get this super chat in real quick, Chris. My man's old Mike Larry. I appreciate that super chat. He said, "Baby Bubba, don't let the Panthers dampen your mood." That's what I'm talking about. I ain't gonna let him do it, Mike. I ain't gonna let him do it, man. Chris, how you
what's
doing,
up, Pat?
brother?
Hey, man, I'm gonna be here for maybe 10 minutes or until all this. I'm gonna send you a picture of what I got going on and how they got some huge machines
Mm-hmm.
about 10 feet to the right of me.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys see me go off screen, I got hit. Don't get paid for
They
it.
trying to push you off the field. Go ahead, man.
They didn't already clean the logos off the field.
Wow, wow, okay.
But hey, Pat, you don't have to join in. If you hadn't hit that subscribe button for my man Pat, please go ahead and do so. Like and subscribe. It helps him to continue to do what he loves to do, man. And I just wanted to come and join you for a second.
Yeah,
It's the last game at Bank of America Stadium. So
yeah.
what you got?
So tell me this, Chris. Were you in there for that presser with Matt Rhule?
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't able to ask a question,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but I was in there.
What do you think the vibe was when it come to Matt Rhule? What do you think his vibe is? Do you feel like he nervous? Do you feel like he settled in? Um, do you feel like he has any idea what he's doing? You tell me.
Well, in terms of the vibe of when he first came into the press conference, he kind of sat down. He said he opened with a statement,
Mm-hmm.
and it was kind of a long statement. And he just had to me, the body language and the tone of like, hey, I know this is bad. And I personally give him credit for he does take on things like right away. He doesn't just give you a short answer. You
Mm-hmm.
guys may not like it. You
Mm-hmm.
may not like all the information that he's given, but it seems like he knows better than anybody about how hot his seat is.
Mm.
And he's given a lot of information about what's going on and where he feels things stand and where they don't stand and what he's trying to do. And again, you don't have to like it. We're losing, but
Mm-hmm.
to me, he's kind of walking right into the battle
Mm.
to try to save his job.
So do you feel like his seat is hot right now?
Oh yeah, that seat is hot. It's definitely hot, and I've been saying that I feel like he's going to get this third year
Mm-hmm.
unless the wheels on the bus just fall off. I didn't feel like that happened against Buffalo. This game here today, I'm going to have to go back and look at it. It almost feels like this the day after Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like the setting was all, the mood was already set. It's the day after Christmas. There was not many fans here at all.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of Tampa Bay fans that were here, and it was kind of like you were just expecting what happened today to happen,
Yeah.
and you didn't see anything that was shocking today. So even though that was a bad score, it just didn't seem as bad as earlier losses in the beginning of the season when you were shocked.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
maybe that answers your question.
so let me ask, how was your feeling as far as covering this team? Like I told everybody, man, I've never been this emotionally disconnected from this team at all. And I'm pretty sure you done covered some bad seasons, man. In my opinion, this is a pretty bad season. And I should be a whole lot madder than I am, but you kind of touched on it just now. Like, it seemed like this was supposed to happen. How has it been covering a team like this?
Now that part is not fun. That is absolutely zero fun
Yeah.
covering this team. Well, there are times when I get to do my one-on-one interviews with guys, and that can be fun. But otherwise, like it's almost like dead man walking after each game. You're going to come down, you're going to try to ask some questions that are a little bit different from before to try to give you some insight on some things to talk about, such as the quarterback situation. Okay, we knew you were going to try 2 quarterbacks this week. What are you going to try next week? And you really feel like, well, other than needing to get the viewers that information, you still kind of feel like it doesn't matter what you're going to try next week.
Right.
So that's the kind of tough part, but it is pretty tough. It is
Yeah.
pretty tough.
Well, y'all go ahead and ask whatever question you got for Chris. He gonna answer it. He gonna answer it. Whatever y'all gotta ask. Let me ask you something real quick, Chris, because
Yeah.
that Matt Rhule's whole press conference was hilarious to me, and I want you to
Hey,
be honest.
I'm,
And I
I'm
don't know
not
if you're
going to say who.
if you ain't gonna write this or tweet this. Did you understand that whole Jay-Z reference?
I'm not the coolest guy in the room. So I just said that Twitter is definitely going to fact check him on
Uh,
that whole thing about the 7 years that it took
yeah.
him to build his legacy of a empire that he has. Again, I'm not going to claim I'm the coolest guy. I know there was a period where Jay-Z, I think he stopped recording, then he went into management. I don't know if he's talking
Yeah.
about that or when he left and
Man,
started
I
his
don't
own
know.
label.
I'm
I
for
did
real.
understand that. I did understand the Fresh Prince though, because everybody's seen that
Yeah.
shit out there.
Yeah, I seen that too, but that still didn't make any sense because it sounded like he was trying to say because he's always been saying, "Oh, we're not rebuilding," but then you bring up it is kind of like a rebuild. He says he talks in circles. Do you get that? You ain't. I don't want you to lose your credentials, but do you get like he seems like he talks in circles, man.
Well, I will say this: he said a lot of stuff today
Mm-hmm.
that was to me building his case to continue to return as a Carolina Panther head
Mm.
coach.
Okay.
He talked about the fact that to me it's like how much do you beat on kick the dead horse when a guy's saying, "I know my offensive line is needing to be fixed." Now he doesn't want to throw the guys under the bus and just kind of say, "Hey, this guy sucks. This guy sucks."
Right.
But he's saying, I know my offensive line isn't where it needs to be. I know it needs to get better. I know that we're going to have free agency in the draft and we're going to be trying to address the offensive line. So at that point, it's like if the guy's calling a spade, what more do you do except wait for him to deliver on the promise of needing just a little bit more time to turn things around. I know my defense has been good, but it's starting slow. I know my quarterback play hasn't been the best. And I know playing 2 quarterbacks isn't the best. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
give guys the best chance to get into rhythm. But he's saying, like,
But
but this
Chris,
is
he
all I
just started
have.
talking like that though. He just started talking like it. I feel like now I could be wrong. You in these presses. I just started hearing him taking the blame for stuff. Last game he was trying to throw Cam under the bus. It seems, and he tried to boost up his offensive coordinator, his defensive coordinator. To me, this was the first presser I heard him talk like, "Hey, I know this ain't working. I know that ain't working, but we working toward." He ain't been talking like that before. I feel like he been trying to push the blame on other people. Now I could be wrong.
Now, this is the first time that he's gone that broad into
Okay.
telling us why the team is in the current state that it is in. But yeah, each press conference, he does take responsibility. He says, whether it was Joe Brady calling the plays or not, bottom line, he's the head coach. He's responsible for everything. So he always says that, but he doesn't say it 10, 20 times.
Mm-hmm.
But every press conference, he will say, no matter where the breakdown is coming in, it's my fault. I
Okay.
can overturn, like when there's fourth down or controversial plays in the past. He said, yes, I still can hear it in my headset. I have the ability to cancel out that play. Even if it's special teams, doing a fake punt. Yes, I still beforehand say these things I'd allow, and it's still my responsibility. But he hasn't taken the broad approach that he took tonight in talking about it. And in terms of earlier in the season, no, you really wouldn't expect him to go that far into explanation about the lack of success, but he still was early on. You kind of want to say, again, I made the reference to spades in a card game earlier. You don't want to show your best hand of like, hey, give me another chance too early.
No, Chris, I ain't feeling that.
You want to wait until, he got $9 million a year. I want to wait a little bit before I put everything out there.
No,
say,
Chris, don't do that. You can't. No, man. I ain't feeling it. You want to be good, right? That ain't spades. This is football, man. And you know what? I think you might be thinking the same way he thinking. I don't like, if you gonna be good now. It's okay to be good now. What is that gonna hurt?
Well, not that it's not okay, but in terms of him giving all these explanations.
Oh, gotcha.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so you saying him holding back? Okay, I got scared for a second. You threw me off.
Yeah.
But still, we
don't want to delay being good.
Because to be honest, you're right. If he would have started saying that at the beginning of the season, he would have been saying that same thing every week. So it's best to wait till now. Okay, we got it now.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We got it. Man, let me give you somebody giving you a shout up in here. I see my man C. He said, what up, Chris? To see Donna B. She giving your channel a shout out. Make sure y'all go check out Carolina Panthers on. What'd you change the name to?
Yeah, I recently renamed
Thank
it.
you.
It used to just be called Carolina.
Thank
but
you.
The new name is Carolina Panthers on Charlotte Vibe. I think that's a little bit more telling of what this
people, it was hard to find. They look up Carolina and daggone Carolina wings pop up. But anyway, y'all make sure y'all go check out Chris Jenkins on Carolina Panthers on Charlotte Vibe. Let's see if we got any more questions. I did see, what do you think, and it's from Carolina Red, I'm gonna try to, word this, is that, what are we going to do about Snow? His defense is sorry. Do you feel like, and you talked to Snow a few times, what do you think they're going to do about Snow and his defense, man? Or do you feel like they need to do anything?
I'm thinking about that because his defense started out pretty good, and now it's still not a bad defense. It's just not as great as it was at the beginning of the season. And I think teams figured out both the offense and defense on the Carolina Panthers, but he's doing a much better job on the defensive side of keeping up. But I also feel like he's had, like everybody else, has had some injuries and things like that to deal with that has affected him. And I feel like, like you could talk about Brian Burns. He's a Pro Bowler, so he's certainly a great player. But at times, Brian Burns has struggled with ways that teams will go to combat just how quick of a rusher he is. And we lose that ability to get Brian Burns in there rushing. Hassan Reddick has led us with sacks this year. So I also feel like his defense could be a little bit of a victim of, though they don't say it, they say, hey, they welcome the challenge of having a short field. They welcome the challenge of the offense had a turnover, and now they must come out there and step up. But I think they could be getting tired, They could be getting mentally tired from being in those situations. Like, okay, here we go again, out here trying to be great, and the offense really isn't giving them anything back. They're not able to get any kind of feeding off of the offense, doing something great where they can come out there and have this great energy and this great vibe to be as great as they were. So I feel like Snow I feel like he should be pretty safe. I don't feel like he's doing a bad job.
And I think I think most Panther fans feel like that. That's why a lot of them feel like, hey, we could keep Snow, just get rid of Matt Rhule. But I'm be honest with you, we can get rid of all of them. Joe Clarity says, what have you seen in the locker room lately with the players' attitudes this late in the season?
So we're still not allowed in the locker room. So having that really, really good feeling from what those guys are feeling. So did you see that machine?
Yeah, that's my boy Randy back there driving that lawnmower.
4 Randys like within 10 feet of me that have very, very loud machines and barrels
They
on
try to
them.
push you off the field, man.
They doing their job, but they're making me earn my wings as being a good reporter. Now
Yeah.
they're spraying water.
Oh
That's coming
man.
towards
Well,
me.
let me get a couple. Wait a minute. Answer this question. We're gonna get a couple more in, then we gotta let Chris go.
No, no,
But
I
go
don't.
ahead.
I don't think I answered that last one, did I?
No, I'm saying answer this one, then we get maybe 1 or 2 in after this one, and then we'll let you go. But go ahead.
Now tell me what that question was again.
The attitudes about the players lately. Is it? Oh, he did that on
Yeah,
purpose. He turned that lawnmower on purpose. But go ahead.
yeah. So not being in the locker room, I can't get a big vibe from the players in the locker room. I know at times it seems like it's wearing on them. You can tell that it's wearing on them, the losses that are coming in. You'll see guys come to press conferences before they get to the podium, they're kind of walking like this. And then they get up there and you'll see them like kind of like, well, you can't hear this, but they're tapping the podium as they're sitting there waiting and just kind of looking around. So I don't feel like, in terms of Coach Rhule having lost the locker room that's happening, but I do feel like the amount of losses is wearing on the team, and they can't wait. I don't want to say they can't wait until the off season, but that might really be what I need to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Andrew Tinsley says, ask him when Tepper will talk to the public. Wait, Tepper at?
So Tepper's not a guy that comes and talks with the media all the time. I've seen him around a couple of times. I've seen him twice, actually. I saw him at a community event that they did because they started doing those back about maybe 5 weeks ago on Tuesdays. That's when the players are off. And it was Tepper, it was Fitter, it was Rhule. It was like everybody was at, I forget what school it was, that they did a little beautification project on about 5 weeks ago. And I saw him again maybe 3 weeks ago at Charlotte Motor Speedway with him and Nicole. They were out there when they did some meals for the holidays. When we see them there, we can, kind of say, hey, but you really can't get into any football talk.
Right.
And that's not what he does. So I would strongly anticipate that at the end of the season, we'll get an email about the opportunity to talk with David Tepper. So he normally picks points that he does it.
So is that like a rule or something, or like if you'll lose your credentials if you bother them outside of the press conference, or is that just like, okay, that's just a unwritten rule, like you just don't do, that's tacky to add something off the record?
I'm pretty sure one of the PR people would come and say, if Tepper didn't himself say, this is not for football, this is just for this community event, that one of the PR guys, because when Robbie had one of his events, I don't know if it's an unspoken rule, but when Robbie had an event over Thanksgiving, there was a reporter that asked him about football. He's like, nah, this is not what this is about today. This is just about the community event. I'm not going to talk about any football right now. So that's
and
probably
you don't want to be that guy. Down. You don't want to be that guy just asking random. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They already don't like you, Chris. So I don't want them to lose, kick you out and jump. I'll just play it, man.
But hey, one thing I will say, when we do get the opportunity to talk with him, I know last time, this was, man, it seems like a while ago because of COVID. We hadn't had a chance to get up one-on-one with him since COVID. So I don't know how much that may play a role into it. But he did make sure that every reporter in this room had a chance to ask a question. So I look forward to that.
Okay.
So I definitely have a question.
So that's not on your calendar or anything like that. Like David Tepper is coming out this day. It'll just be dropped in on you through email.
Yeah, I mean, I'll ask to get the confirmation, but I'm pretty sure he's going to go to talk with the team. But in regards to the heads up, honestly, we might have 4 hours notice that we may get before we know that we're going to talk to him. But I mean, we already have our questions. I don't need any advance notice to think about what I want to ask him.
Right. Is that the same for Scott Fitterer too? Or is Scott Fitterer a little bit more accessible?
Scott is more accessible. Scott, if there's a move, like at that point where he was making all those trades and getting guys here, pretty much after a move, Scott's willing to talk to the media. And in my opinion, he's a very, very candid guy about where things are and what he's trying to do.
Okay. All right, man, Chris, man, I ain't gonna hold you up, man. I see they already trying to kick you off the field, brother, but I appreciate you, and we appreciate all you do for the Carolina Panthers, for all you do for the Carolina Panther fans. You continue to bring the content we want to see, and you keep us plugged in. You know what I'm saying? You're the only one that I know keep us plugged in. You know what I'm saying? It might be others, but I know you keep us plugged in, man. Anything else that you saw out there that you feel like the Panthers need to know, man?
That they need to know.
Yeah, man.
It was
Cause
a
somebody
beautiful
said,
day
why they watering the
weather-wise.
grass and they ain't even real grass? You tell us they watering something.
Hey, Pat, I'll tell you, I like answering any questions that you guys have about any part of things that go on. So what they're doing is actually removing all the paint that was on the field.
Oh, okay.
So there were logos at the center field. There was the writing in the end zone. All that's gone. So I'm assuming whatever that water was is actually a chemical to remove the paint.
Oh, well, there you go. So they ain't
Yeah.
trying to get the turf to grow. They ain't that crazy. They actually trying to wash the paint off. Okay, that's
They're
cool,
removing the
man.
paint off. And hey, and I'll give you this tidbit. There's actually a guy from the NFL that comes to the stadium. And let me see if I can pick it up. I'm getting old. I don't know if you heard me.
Yeah, I heard the knees crack.
These little pellets that come
Uh-huh.
up, they actually come out and they have a machine where they drop a little metal thing that bounces on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And they see if it doesn't bounce as enough, then it's not safe. And they have to put more pellets out here to keep the field soft. So it
Wow.
doesn't get too hard.
Dang.
Plenty of jobs out there.
Yeah. And the pellet. Imagine being the pellet checker.
The
Dang.
pellet checker.
Dang.
He
You gotta
walks
check the pellet
all through the
bounce.
field. Every time.
Man.
Yep.
Man. Hey, that's some interesting stuff, man. Being the pellet checker. Dang.
Hey.
That won't show up on Indeed. Chris, man, where can they find you at, man?
Hey, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything's Charlotte Vibe, and just Google Charlotte Vibe Carolina Panthers. You should get me. Or just put a link in the comments. I don't know. I'm getting old.
Yeah, I do got one more question, man. I missed it, but I want to go ahead and ask you.
Go back.
Nick N says, can you elaborate on why the coaches were walking away from Cam Newton when he tried to fire up the guys on the offensive line on the sidelines? Now, do you feel like we're reading too much into that, or you feel like it's something with that?
Well, I did not see that happen. I know toward the end of the game, Cam was standing by himself on the 25-yard line, very far away from everybody else. I don't know if he's just taking that moment to reflect and get himself together. But I did see him when the game ended. He ran straight to Tom Brady, gave him a hug, and then ran straight to the locker room right after the game. I didn't see what you're talking about in terms of him trying to fire the players and the coaches walking away. But, you know, if that is happening, if a player is, Cam Newton, he's not a captain, but he's certainly a leader. They leave that kind of thing up to players to fire up other players. You know, if some guy is chewing another guy out, that's not coach takes a turn, then player takes a turn. So I might, again, I didn't see it, but if they were kind of near and they had finished whatever the coaches were talking about, and then they go, and then, they could let Cam continue to do what he's doing. So I don't know exactly, but that's kind of how I feel about it. They'll let players have at it. I mean, when Robbie Anderson was having fits with Sam Darnold, coaches just act like it ain't going on.
Okay.
Like, everybody's out here a grown man, and if you need your butt chewed out, you need your butt chewed out.
Right.
It's not me. So.
Okay. Well, man, Chris, again, man, thank you so much, dog. You better get out that field, man, for the, take your credentials and say you're not allowed on the field no more.
I actually got to get off the field because all my equipment is about to die. So it's just deep in my ear that the laptop's about to die. My light's still good, my camera's still good. But, hey, Pat, I appreciate you. And, again, if you haven't subscribed to Pat's channel, support Pat. He is a great dude. That's why I'm here, because he's a great dude.
Yeah, exactly, man. Real recognize real. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
All right, Chris, man, I appreciate you, man. And enjoy the rest of your day. Right, happy holidays to you and your family, too, man.
Back at you. I was going to say the same thing to you.
All right, man. Later.
All right, take care.
Good insight from my man's Chris Jenkins, man. Of course, I always appreciate it, man. Like I said, Chris Jenkins was, he reached out to me a few years ago, maybe probably about 5 or 6 years, maybe about 5 years ago. 5 years ago, and he's always been a real good dude, real nice dude, man. Panther fan. That's the dude y'all need to be following. If y'all really want to get connected to this team, That's the dude y'all need to be following, man. Chris Jenkins, he is that guy, one of the hardest working reporters out there. He doing it by himself. Ain't got no Charlotte Observer backing him. Ain't got no ESPN backing him. It's a lot of reporters doing it, but he is one of them dudes that you can reach out to, give you shout outs, man. You can meet up with him. I told you he hooked up the interview with me and James Bradbury, man. Real good dude. Real nice dude, man. You'll never hear me say nothing bad about him except he don't give you gas money. That's it. That's all I say bad about him, but he a good dude. And I appreciate his insight. A lot of people don't, one thing I do, he is I was about to say something, but he just sent me something. It threw me off. He just sent me a picture of his setup. Dope little setup, man. This dude out here doing it by himself, man. By himself. Living the dream. Living the dream. One of the hardest working dudes that I know in Panther Nation, man. So I already did my live post game show. Mike Lyer, his Twitter is Charlotte Vibe. Let me see. Let me make sure it's Charlotte Vibe, or because I know he changed it. Yeah, it's Charlotte Vibe. One word, Charlotte Vibe. I know I'm saying vibe because I'm country, y'all. Vibe. I make B's V's for some reason. Vibe. Real accessible dude. Any type of questions you have, y'all done heard Matt Rhule call on him a few times because he be in there. He be on the ground. He be in the trenches. The questions y'all be asking me, y'all could be asking him. I know a lot of people don't like his answer. I see somebody say, I ain't like the snow. Carolina Red said, I don't like the snow answer. But that's just what he feeling. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us feel like, Rhule ain't going to be here next year. But Chris say he going to be, the seat hot, but he going to be here because that's what he's seeing, We can only speculate, but that man, he going to give you the real. He is going to give you the real. So I really cammed up just to do that, because he hit me up and he said he was on the field, and he wanted to, give his post game report, and we might do that next week too. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be scheduled a little bit better. It's gonna be coordinated a little bit better. I wasn't expecting to do it, but since he had some free time, he was kind enough to chime in. Let's see. Appreciate that, Cosmic Tron. I try. Daniel Sarton say Tepper is not a problem. Enough of Rhule. And that's what the truth of the matter is, man. That's the truth of the matter. Oh, okay. Let me go ahead and go, y'all. I done been on here way too long. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I appreciate everybody who came back to check in and listen to I ain't even see your comment, B-Dude. I just noticed it. Everybody that came in and checked, you listened to me rant for a whole hour, then you came back and listened to me drill Chris Jenkins. I ain't drilling, but you came back and joined me for that, so I appreciate it. Find me on Twitter at Pat Coltrane. Find me on Facebook, facebook.com/Pat Coltrane. We will be back. I'm going to drop the Monday morning clarity in the morning. I ain't sure if I'm going to do the live or just do pre-recorded. But if I don't, y'all know I will be back Wednesday night. Make sure I ain't got nothing planned. I don't think I got nothing planned. Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Catch me at the train stop and we going to talk some more. All right, y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday, the rest of y'all night. I'm gone.